take the series against the Padres. Some Dodgers that have had some rough seasons are turning it around. It was a redemption day in San Diego. That's coming up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Tommy Tank strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Gibby! Meet Freddie! Tommy sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! One-of-a-kind player. One-of-a-kind season.
Okay, yep, I'm hearing. We got... All right, some breaking news. They are canceling the parade in San Diego. I repeat, they're canceling a planned parade outside of Petco Park at Gaslamp. There is no parade today. The Padres did not win the series like they had hoped to. They had a parade planned. It is not happening down in San Diego after the Dodgers take the third game of the 3-game set, the first meeting of the season against these two clubs has gone to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, they stepped up. And yesterday, it was bad. It was ugly. It wasn't fun. No one likes losing like that. The Dodgers lose 11-1, and then they bounce back to take this third game. And guess what? As bad as it was yesterday, a loss is a loss, and it only counts as one in the game of baseball. And the beautiful thing about baseball is there's always the next game. There's always tomorrow. And today it was a day game after a night game. So you get to wipe off the stink of that game and you come up in a big way. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. I see you guys in the comments already. 8-8. 8 Dodgers pitchers used, 8 guys with a hit today, so that was big as well. We got Donovan Delgado says, Padres who? Eddie Sowers, today's hero. Yeah, how about that? Give him a win today for the success that they had because he was able to wear that. Where those Padres at? Padres had to cancel their parade. Yep, they did. We just talked about that. But, yep, guys, what a win today. And this is the Dodgers team that is not at their best. They have a depleted rotation. They have a bullpen that had some really good moments today for sure, and you still had to go with the bullpen game essentially, and you were able to win. The Dodgers improved to 41-28. They're a game up with the Giants, 2 games up on the Padres, and now you're in a good spot coming home to take on the Giants for 3 and then 4 games against these same Padres next week at Dodger Stadium. But I think the story today starts with Ben Casparius because today felt like it was an audition for him to be in the starting rotation and continuing to build him up, ramping him up. He's at 45 pitches, 345 right now. Can you get him to 75 pitches? Can you get him to go 4 or 5 innings? Well, today I think he passed that audition. It wasn't a perfect Ben Casparius outing, but I think that he showed those flashes that we've seen from him where he carries himself. He looks like a starting pitcher out there, and I was so impressed with him in that first inning. After he got Tatis and Arise out, Manny Machado goes up to the plate, and the 5th pitch of the at-bat, Ben Casparius challenged him with a fastball up and away and just mowed it by Manny, and Manny gave him his approval. Look at this right here. Fastball up and away, and he's pointing, shaking his head, nodding his head yes, showing his respect to Ben Casparius. That's got to feel good for a young pitcher getting the approval of someone like Manny Machado. Not that he needs it or anything like that, but I think that showed that he's not afraid of anyone. And Manny Machado is a hitter that can intimidate. He can get in the heads of young pitchers, not Benny C. Benny C wants all the smoke. He's not afraid. And then you saw him have his ups and downs in the outing. There was a couple of moments there where you're starting to fear that it could have been a shorter start, especially when you look at the walks. The second inning for Benny C did deal with some traffic out there, gave up the 1-out single to Sheets, then another single to Bogart, so back-to-back singles. Then Cronenworth, he singled as well, so that set them up. But the big play there was Andy Pages. And there were two major defensive plays in this one that led to the win. But the first big one was Andy Pages, with the Padres getting a rally going there in the second inning, 1 out after he was battling at the plate with several batters. Cronenworth goes up there. It's an 0-1 to Cronenworth, and he hits it, and he singles to center. And Andy Pages, he fields it, and he guns down Sheets at the plate with a 99-mile-per-hour throw. Just an absolute laser beam cannon for Alex Vesia. I mean, for Andy Pages, just an incredible throw.
Patient than ever. Swings at this one and pops it into center field for a base hit. They're going to give the wave to Sheets. Here comes the throw. Bang, bang, and in time, Andy Pages.
Just an incredible defensive play, and he might have one of the best arms in the outfield in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, the dude has an absolute cannon, and it was huge because Ben Casparius, he needed some support in that inning. He wasn't at his best. He ends up walking Iglesias. He walked Maldonado. That scored a run, put the Padres up 1-0 early. So you can't walk the 8-9 hitters of a lineup. You can't walk with the bases loaded. And thankfully, he does bounce back and settle down to get Tatis to fly out to right, and the Padres weren't able to make more out of that inning. It looked like they were ready for a big inning, but you get a big defensive play there by Andy Pages, and you only give up 1 run after giving up 3 hits. And then what happens? I was so impressed with the very next inning. Next inning goes out there, he settles down. A 1-2-3 inning for Benny C., and it just showed his maturity. It shows that he's able to bounce back. And then he also went 1-2-3 there in the 4th inning. So he was fantastic today. I think that he didn't have the command for that second inning, but outside of that, the potential is certainly there. I want to see Ben Casparius built up to take on more innings. And not only is it for now, but it's for later. Because, yes, the hope is that everyone comes back, but he's someone that you can now use in a situation where they don't all return. And so I think it's kind of some insurance. You're putting some money in the bank with that. And you look at the stuff. I mean, everything's above average. The cutter, the four seam, the sweeper, the curveball, all above average pitches today for Ben Casparius. When you look at stuff plus, when you look at the barrel percentage, when you look at just how that stuff played against a really potent lineup, he really, really made a statement today. And I think the message to the Dodgers is, hey, I got this. Hey, I can handle this. Hey, don't just use me as a high leverage reliever. Don't just use me as a multi-inning reliever. I can give you more right now. And his line, strikeout-wise, wasn't incredible, but I think the potential is certainly there, and I've gained more trust. I have more trust today in Ben Casparius than I had yesterday, and I think that says a lot because this was a very intense series in a regular season matchup that some guys can and some guys can't handle. He certainly showed that he can do that. Now, he went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, had 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, gave up a run, but he's certainly built for this, and I was really, really impressed. But let me know down below in the comment section, what is your grade for Ben Casparius in this one? Kathy says, no banner for SD. Vesia, our new closer from Carl. Yeah, the bullpen, they were outstanding once again. And we'll talk more about the bullpen in just a second. But that bullpen, they were great today. I mean, Michael Kopech, he had his issues as he's trying to work his way back. But the bullpen today, they went up 5 innings, gave up no runs, had 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, and gave up just 1 hit. So give the bullpen their credit. Show them some love down below in the comment section because there is a lot of redemption that's starting to be had on this Dodgers team. And I think you flip over to the offensive side, and the first one we have to talk about today is Michael Conforto. And sure, there's no doubt about it. Conforto, he has been one of the least productive hitters in baseball. Just literally, he's been the 155th out of 165 as far as least productive. His batting average is dead last for qualified hitters. But you've started to see some moments with him. He had the go-ahead game-winning hit against his old club, the Mets, last week. And then today, when this Dodgers offense, they weren't doing much early in this one, he stepped into the plate there in the 5th inning, and he took a first pitch 94-mile-per-hour fastball from Vasquez, and he crushed it to left center to get the Dodgers back in this one and tie things at 1. Every now and then, a blind squirrel finds a nut, and the wrong clock is right, and things like that. I get it, right? He's had a bad year. There's no doubt about it, but it was good to see him have success today because the Dodgers needing it. And look, you look at this as a team with a lot of guys on redemption arcs, right? Andy Paz, Max Muncy struggling through the first part of the season. Andy Paz had his season turned around sooner than Muncy's was, but both of those guys having success. And then you look at some of the bullpen guys that we'll talk about. Anthony Banda in particular. He has been fantastic in his last 13 appearances. Tanner Scott was great again tonight. And ever since he made that mechanical adjustment, he's been fantastic. Has allowed a run. So there's a lot of redemption that's being had on this team, and there's guys that are showing signs of life, and they're turning their season around. Now, this next guy I'm going to talk about was really the opposite of some of these other guys. This next guy I'm talking about got off to a great start in his season. It looked like he was headed for his second consecutive All-Star team, that he was going to compete for a Silver Slugger once again. And, of course, I'm talking about Teoscar Hernández. Now, Teoscar Hernández, he unfortunately suffered that groin injury. It set him back. And ever since he's been back, he hasn't been good. Let's just call it what it is. Heading into this game, Teoscar Hernández, in 20 games back, following that groin injury, was hitting 171, had hit just 1 home run in 82 plate appearances. Now, he did say in St. Louis that hitting the ball the other way, the way he was encouraging for him because he was just putting better swings on pitches that we've seen him drive throughout his career with the Dodgers. But today, he had his first really big game-changing moment since he's returned. That was in the 6th inning after Freddie Freeman reached on an infield single to third. The Padres went to Estrada to face Smith. Will Smith, he walks, and then that set up Teoscar Hernández with runners on first and second. And Teoscar Hernández, he got back to doing Teo things, and that's come up big with runners in scoring position in a big spot.
On a 2-1, Hernandez sends one in the air to deep center field. Merrill's going back. It is gone! Teoscar roars again!
So a 3-run shot for Teo, and I think you look at where he hit that. I think you look at where that ball ended up. He stayed inside on it. He hit it directly out to center field, and that tells you that he's not being overly pull happy. That's telling you that he's staying back and he's just squaring it up right where he wants to. And I think that's a swing, and that's a moment that has the potential to just turn things around for him because he's a guy that operates on a lot of confidence, on a lot of feel. He's not someone that's overly analytical about when he breaks down his swing. He's just not one of those guys, right? Like we saw JD Martinez a couple years ago. He was obsessed with his iPad and breaking down every single moment in swing. Teoscar Hernández is the guy who, hey, when it's going right, and we're just going to follow certain hit cues and make sure that we just ride that hot streak. That's kind of where he's at as a hitter. And I think that that's why I think he's someone that can snap out of a slump very quickly. I mean, he had an 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position slump that he was going through. And just like that, he gets the big 3-run home run. You saw Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas doing the double sunflower seed shower. And I think that just the way that Teoscar carries himself, and yes, it's been tough to go through this slump, I think he's a guy that can just view this and say, you know what, I'm back. And I could see him going on a nice little heater here for the next couple of weeks. But here was Teoscar Hernández after the game talking about that big swing.
Teoscar, when we left St. Louis, you were saying you were feeling that you were so close to getting the results that you want. You liked where the ball was going. For you to get that big swing today, how good did it feel?
It feels great. You know, it's been really, really tough last 3 weeks for me. I'm working really hard just to get into my rhythm again, and thank God I got that pitch and I get the team the lead.
What were you looking for from Estrada there?
I'm not thinking about too much, you know, just try to get a good pitch, just hit it. I put a good swing, a really good one, 98. that I hit it out. So it was a great feeling for me right now.
Is it one that you feel like can unlock a few things for you moving forward?
Yeah, I'm still missing something in there, but I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to keep trying to maximize those swings and just keep going.
With Ben Casparius, he set the tone in this one, but how did he in the bullpen come through to give you all a chance to win today?
I always say it. Us without the bullpen, I don't think we're going to be in the place that we are right now. They're doing their job, I think, every day. We just need to put everything together and just play good baseball.
We knew that this was going to be an intense series, an emotional series for you guys to turn the page from yesterday, to pick up the win, to win the series. Just how important was that for this team?
That's how it goes. What is in the past is in the past. It doesn't matter what the score was last night, how bad we play, how things went the wrong way for us last night. Where we just turned the page, focus on the things that we need to do today, and we get the win.
Hey, Oscar, congratulations on this win today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Teoscar Hernández coming through in a big spot. Great to see Teoscar back. I see some comments down below saying, I'm going to celebrate by going to Baskin Robbins from Toto Games. I like this one from Brandon Key. 99-mile-per-hour rope by Andy Pages. Put him on the mound. Yeah, hey, that's a good point. I like that. Next time we need a position player pitching, I wouldn't mind seeing a job there done by Andy Pages. Claudia Levin says Kike was a little too extra with his sunflower seed shower. Do you guys think that Kike was too extra? That's who Kike is, man. That's who Kike is. You can't be mad at that. Pages is blossoming into the captain of the outfield. That's from Ray ZZTERA. It's a hot take right there. That's a hot take right there, that he's the captain of the outfield, that he's blossoming into that. So give you a nice little fire take for that one. Let's do some more. Got a super chat here, $5 from Don't Care 187. Still not convinced with Conforto. Need to see a few games of success in a row. Don't forget to vote for Andy Pages in the All-Star game. Go Dodgers. Give you a nice little comment of the show for that one. Yeah, look, I mean, it remains to be seen if Michael Conforto can string together 2 solid weeks. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks of Michael Conforto where he's hitting above 250 and he's giving you 2-3 home runs, some slug. Because the thing about Michael Conforto is this: if he's going to stick, it's because he hits. If he doesn't rake, he's going to be gone. I mean, because he's not a plus defender. He's not a plus runner. He doesn't play multiple positions. He needs to hit. And not just hit, but slug. And today we saw that slug, and that's why it was encouraging. They gave him $17 million. But like I said, imagine this. Last thing you want to do is see him go to another team and have success just because he kind of worked his way through his slump with you, right? I mean, if you're going to raise the kid, right, you don't want to just like have him go and have the stepdad raise him or whatever. I mean, you definitely want to make sure that he is not going to come through at all and that he's absolutely cooked before you want to move on with him. Because look, the reason why you would keep him isn't because you're a nice organization, because you're doing him a favor, because he is just expecting that from you. You're doing that because you think that he can help you win. And I still think that there's a world where Michael Conforto can help this team win because of his bat, because it's a dynamic bat when it's right. But here's Michael Conforto here from the clubhouse down in San Diego just minutes ago.
Michael, just to get that swing early in the game to kind of, things have been going pretty well for you as of late. Have you felt like kind of you finally turned that corner?
I think we're getting there. I think the quality of the at-bats have definitely gone in the right direction, and hitting the ball a little bit harder and just a little bit tougher of an out. I think there's a lot of work to do still, but just a great team win. The bullpen was amazing. Teo getting that big swing, Will, Shohei at the end of the game, and so just a great team win.
When you are showing power, does that say something to you in specific, though, just to where your swing is at?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things is, putting good swings on some fastballs, hitting those hard, and, that's kind of, in my career, that's been my bread and butter. Always been a guy who hits the fastball, and, so that's more so than, the ball leaving leaving the yard, just hitting the fastball hard is one of the big things for me.
What specifically in your swing is working to let you get to the fastball a little bit better?
I think it's just a lot of the work that I've put in, to get my body in the right position, get the plane of the swing right. There's a lot of things that I've been working on, but really just being ready, putting myself in the right position when I go to launch. It's been the biggest thing.
So good to see that from Michael Conforto. I want to point something out too. With Conforto, June has been his worst month of his career. A 619 OPS in June for his career. So he's always been a second half player. He's always been a guy that thrives later in the season. So this kind of tracks with his career, but he actually has starting to have success in June. So that's definitely good. So maybe he flips the script on that. Getting back to the rest of this game, the bullpen is really been overly taxed. We know that. They lead all of Major League Baseball in innings pitched. And today it was a good game for most of the bullpen. I mean, you look at this group as a whole, 8 guys. Lou Trevino comes in after Ben Casparius. Then Jack Dreyer goes 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit. He was efficient. Kirby Yates goes 1/3 of an inning, goes 3 pitches, able to get out of it. Bonda pitched well. Scott pitched well. Vesia pitched well. The one guy that didn't, though, was Michael Kopech. So Michael Kopech working his way back, had the shoulder, had the arm, is trying to get into a groove after having really an awful go of it during the rehab process as far as just overall numbers go. He wasn't good in his AAA work. And in this one, he did not look good. In the 7th inning, he had just no command. He walked 3 straight batters. And then with 1 out in the 7th inning, he was done. I mean, he had a 2-run lead. And then Anthony Bonda, they put him in that situation. And Anthony Bonda goes in there with the goal of trying to get out the heart of the Padres lineup. It was a difficult spot for Bonda, and Michael Kopech put him in that unenviable position to do just that. And Bonda was really good. He responded well. He goes in there, he gets a rise to pop to first. And just by doing that, that's a guy that can put the ball on the ground. That's a guy that can at least give you contact to where the Padres could have scored another run there, makes it a 4-3 game, makes it a 4-4 game possibly with a hit or a double. Bonda gets him to pop out. And then Manny Machado, Bonda's down 3-0 in the count. The 4th pitch hits his spot on the 4-seamer, and Mookie Betts made an incredible play at shortstop to get out of that inning.
How much does it give in here? Ground ball left side, backhand Betts across his body. Freeman picks it, and they're out of it.
So, yeah, it's Johnny Hustle down the line. It's Manny Machado. But so that was a great job by Mookie Betts to backhand that, throw across his body, one-hop it to Freddie. And I think this is one of the most impressive things that Mookie has ever done. I really think it's right up there with most impressive accomplishments throughout his future Hall of Fame career. The MVP was great. The All-Stars, the Silver Sluggers, the Gold Gloves were great. But for him to turn himself into an above-average shortstop, north of 30s, 32 years old, and he's an above-average defensive shortstop. Everyone thought that it wasn't going to work. Everyone thought that this was for show and that at some point we would see Tommy Edman at shortstop. Mookie Betts defensively is making the routine plays, and now he's starting to make the highlight plays. Now he's starting to make the Gold Glove web gem plays. And I remember talking to Andrew Friedman this offseason in Dallas, and I asked him, I said, Andrew, are we really serious about this whole Mookie Betts thing? Or is this, let's let Mookie do what he wants because he's Mookie Betts, and he's earned that right to want to play shortstop. He told me to never bet against Mookie Betts, and we're seeing that pay off. The fact the organizations allow him to do that. And the truth is, Mookie is right up there with Francisco Lindor defensively this season. This is incomprehensible to me. I mean, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani being on this team and him coming back to pitch, this would be the biggest story on the Dodgers. This would be the biggest story in the National League if it weren't for Shohei Ohtani. And rightfully so, because Shohei Ohtani, an MVP level hitter pitching, is a big deal, and we're never going to see it again, in my opinion. But the fact that Mookie Betts is playing shortstop the way he is, and then on top of that, the offense has come around for him in the last week where he's been a lot better at the plate. Even today, he was able to get a base hit. He's starting to look like Mookie at the plate, and then now he looks like this totally reinvented, recreated player just because he's a defender at a premium position. And yeah, it's just, I can't say enough about how impressive it is for a 6-time Gold Glove Award winning right fielder to step into the role as a shortstop. It's never happened. This is unprecedented. And I do think, considering the circumstances, I hope he gets Gold Glove consideration. I really, really do. And the Dodgers, they persevered in this series when it looked like the Padres were going to take 2 out of 3. And I love the redemption arcs all around. We talked about some of them today. Last one I want to talk about today is Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott is starting to look like that $72 million man. Tanner Scott is looking like that reliever that had a 1.75 ERA for the last couple years with the Marlins and the Padres. The guy that dominated Shohei Ohtani in the postseason. And I've been saying it in the last couple weeks, in the last week here, he's beating the allegations. And what was the allegation? That he was a double agent from the San Diego Padres. No, Tanner Scott, since he made that mechanical adjustment, since he realigned his mechanics, and I talked to Tanner Scott about this in the Dodgers clubhouse, and I said, hey, did you change your mechanics because you were not having success? He said, no, I changed my, I didn't change my mechanics. What I did was I brought them back to where they were. So it's not like they're trying something new, right? This isn't something where, oh, this guy is just not having success. We got to try to reinvent the wheel. No, he's getting back to his principles. And that was his lower half flying open, and that was forcing him to pull some things, and he just wasn't locating. And he told me that the mechanics for the start of the season were not good. They were really some of the most sloppy mechanics that he's had. And now he's locked in. He's just dominating out there on the mound, getting soft contact, getting strikeouts. And today, I think it was another major step in the right direction. Comes out there in the bottom of the 8th, a 4-2 game, struck out Jackson Merrill with the 4-seam fastball off the plate. When Tanner Scott is at his best, he can get chase off the plate out of the zone. That's what's so impressive about him, is it actually works for him to not be in the zone. I've been talking about on this show that he was throwing too many strikes because he has a career low walk rate this year. When he trusts his stuff, he's not afraid to throw balls because he knows it generates swing and miss. And then with Gavin Sheets, he got a weak contact foul to third. And then Bogarts, he got him to ground to second. So soft contact, missing barrels, and getting swing and miss. That's what we're seeing from Tanner Scott. So let's, maybe it's too early for you, and that's fine. I get it. Maybe you need to see more. Maybe you need to see more because you have PTSD of Kim Brelsa, Craig Crumble from a couple of years ago. But I'm here to tell you this. From a pure stuff and a velocity standpoint, it's consistent with how it has looked when he's been at his best in the last couple of seasons. It's the real Tanner Scott, the guy the Dodgers thought they were getting, has looked the part in his last handful of appearances. And I could not be more stoked about it because this is a guy that he wants it. He wants to be part of a winning organization. And the numbers just really, really back it up. I mean, Tanner Scott, he's out here cooking, really. And today, I think you saw the demeanor look better. The confidence look better, too. And, you just look at his last 5 appearances. Last 5 appearances for Tanner Scott since he made that mechanical adjustment. 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, no runs in 5 innings of work. So the truth is, since he made those mechanical adjustments, got back home to where he needed to be, he has not allowed a run. So let's hope that he continues to build on that. And yes, guys are going to have off nights, but more often than not, I think Tanner Scott's going to be dominant for the rest of the way. So that was the story tonight. Dodgers get the win. There will be no parties, no parades down in San Diego. There was going to be one Of course, I'm only kidding, guys. Relax. I know that aggregators are gonna run with that or something. The people in the mentions, the Padres fans, are gonna go crazy with that one. But yeah, they didn't get the win, and it's a great win for the Dodgers. But Ben Casparius, give him a lot of love. I thought he gave the Dodgers exactly what they needed, and here was him after the game.
Excellent today. I think maybe just outside of that one inning, how did you find just kind of staying true to yourself and not letting that get kind of away from you there?
Yeah, I think, trusting Will there. I think 5 straight reached and everything. I think it's just, get back in the zone, challenge. And I think I got the first pitch slider in there to Tatis, got him to fly out. I felt pretty good after that.
There's conversation about just continuing to build you up, moving you into the rotation. What has just kind of been shared with you and what this could mean moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's just, a steady build up. I don't know what next week's going to look like, obviously, but I feel pretty good. I was happy to get to 50 today. I thought the plan was 2 or 3, so just to get through 4 was huge, and I felt good.
Would you like to be a starter again full time?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, I've been doing it for the majority of my professional career, so it's something I'm comfortable with routine-wise. And I'm just looking forward to what's going on and what's coming up next.
When did they tell you that you're going to be starting today?
Oh, last night.
How much do they talk about the plan about maybe stretching you out a little bit? Do you kind of look at something like today as an opportunity to show hey, I can push into the 3rd and the 4th inning and kind of do that?
For sure. And I think too, just obviously this being a playoff atmosphere against this team, awesome series to be a part of, and getting a win like that's huge.
So Ben Casparius, I love how he's honest there too. A lot of guys in that same situation, when asked, hey, do you want to be a starter? Hey, do you want this? Do you want that? They'll be like, oh, I just want to do whatever I can to help this team. I want to help this organization any way I can, blah, 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 blah. Cliche. Ben Casparius planted his flag. He made it known right there. Yes, I do want to be a starting pitcher. Why? I think I can do it. I'm confident in my stuff. And also, I've done it my whole career. So he's told me the same thing. We've talked about it on the show quite a bit. So give him a lot of love. I think he was exactly what they needed. And I think that he definitely, if there was a conversation about it, there's none they saw today that would lead them to believe that, no, it's a bad idea. I think that they feel better about the idea now after seeing him go today and get out to 50 pitches. And yes, there was that spot. Let 5 guys reach, had the walks, and he definitely owes Andy Paez a steak dinner. Hope he gives Andy Paez something for that incredible job that he did, that 99-mile-per-hour throw to nail Gavin Sheets at home plate. It was his 5th outfield assist of the season, by the way, who leads baseball in defensive run saves. So more love for Andy Paez. But yeah, what do you guys think about the idea, the confidence level of Ben Casparius? So we're going to get to your comments. I'm going to spend last part of the show reading tons of comments like I always do. But Dave Roberts, he just spoke to reporters down in San Diego. And here was Doc after the Dodgers took 2 of 3 from San Diego.
Dave, I know ahead of the game you talked about just Ben potentially 3 innings, for him to be able to get through 4, for the bullpen to follow through and be essentially just excellent. How would you say today kind of just played out on the pitching side of this game?
On the pitching side, certainly I thought overall we did a really nice job preventing runs. I think Ben, did a great job of bouncing back after, the walk to Maldonado. Very uncharacteristic, and he wasn't going to come out of that game after 3. And I thought he really regrouped and threw the baseball really well to get us through 4 innings, which was huge. And, I thought the other guys did a really nice job. Certainly Banda, coming in and doing what he did in that spot was a game changer right there. And the other guys followed suit. So I thought Kirby came in and did a nice job and kind of changed the momentum. And they did a great job, yeah.
For you all to pick up this win, the series win, just to bounce back from yesterday, how important was that for the team, just for this group as a total and whole?
It was good. It was good. It wasn't a surprise to me, the resilience, and after having a clunker last night and to come back and be prepared out of the pen and guys performed to find a way to win a series, and that was our goal coming into this ballpark, and we did that. So not surprising, and we do a good job of turning the page.
How big of a flip was Teo's homer? Not obviously just what it meant to the game, just for him to have that swing.
It was a big hit. It was a big hit. He's the last few weeks he's been really scuffling and feeling like he hasn't helped contribute, and so he has a knack for getting big hits, and that's as big as they get so far. I don't know if it's his best throw. He's had some great throws. That was certainly a ball coming straight in on a line, just off the mark. Will made a great catch and tag, but Andy is playing some all-around really good baseball. Whether I have him in center, in right, in left, preventing runs, the defense, the jumps, getting the balls, the hits with runners in scoring position, just all of it. And it was just a heck of a play and really changed the momentum right there.
So Dave Roberts, after the game, talking about Ben Casparius, gave him to 54 pitches, talking about Andy Paz's rifle armbar. Let's get to you guys down below in the comment section. Delirium, will Mookie get voted in as the NL All-Star team starter at shortstop? It's a good question. I mean, he's definitely someone that I think is deserving of an All-Star, not just because of what he's meant to this team. Defensively, he's been really good. The offense has picked up late. He's still above average offensively. I will say, though, Francisco Lindor is having a pretty monster year at the plate. I mean, Lindor has 14 home runs, a 136 weighted runs created plus. He's been better offensively, and the defense is still there for Lindor. And then we have to factor in, too, Mookie Betts, he kind of missed some time with the stomach issues. He was dealing with kind of putting that weight back on. And then you couldn't factor out, too, the foot situation, missed some time. So, really, I think it should be Lindor, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I try to give you guys the unbiased version of the Dodgers. I hope I do that. Tom V, can't expect Kopech to be lights out. He just came back. 100%. It's going to take some time. I mean, it is going to take time for sure. But you look at someone like you look at this kind of the rehab, and you kind of wish that he kind of got off to a good start just because of how poorly he pitched during the rehab sessions that he was in, those appearances. But, yeah, it's going to take some time. The velocity's down. He just doesn't look right out there. Really doesn't. Danny Flores, who's your Padre? Who's your Padre? I like the Padres. Hey, guys, just bring it. Let it flow. No, I'm just playing. But they'll give you a nice little finish him for that one. And then let's keep it moving here, guys. Down below in the comments section here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. No more Dodgers post-game show on YouTube. Unthink Unknowing Me 26. Padres can beat a half-baked Dodgers team. Daniel 848 says Lindor plays my girl. Jack Geezy says sweep the Giants. Chris Navarro, the lights are bright in L.A. Either you have it or you don't. Muad'Dib 69. Trevor Bauer beat the allegations. Yeah, I mean, I think with Trevor Bauer, you wonder if another team gives him a shot. The Dodgers, from everything I was told and everyone I've talked to, I think there is a 0% chance. That's just it's the Dodgers, right? I think they've kind of just moved on from that. But I'm curious to see if another team would. Who knows? Tanner Scott's looking great from Claudia 11. What is happening to Teoscar? John, he had a good day today, a big home run. Dodgers of the Padres daddy. We got a super chat from Isaiah. The fact that Conforto went oppo and squared up on that pitch was huge. Looking like a fly ball, but went over. Should be huge for his confidence. 1 month ago, he would have pulled that pitch into a ground out. Yeah, absolutely. He's not rolling over. He's lifting the ball more. And to hit that pitch where he did, it really tells you that he's squaring up the baseball the way he needs to be doing it. So that's a great point, and hope that he builds on that. I mean, he's a big leaguer, man. He's been in this game for a long, long time. We've got Darren DeRico. Dodgers were on the verge of sitting in the whole league in the world hurt. Okay. Not sure what that even means, but I love you, man. JF, even Tanner Scott hates his old team. Yeah, absolutely. That must felt good for him. Ravy Guzman, Tanner Scott is now earning the money he was paid. Charles Villasenor, Dodgers are on life support for starting pitchers, and we are still the NL West leaders. Yeah, put that into perspective. There's so many teams around baseball that would be absolutely buried if this were to happen to them. They'd be third, fourth place. Oh, let's pack it in, guys. Post the thank you fans graphic. It's over. That's not the case because this team has depth, and also the offense is so potent. I think we kind of lose sight of the fact that this offense is just so stacked and has so much talent. You lead Major League Baseball in runs scored. You lead in so many offensive categories. They lead baseball with a hit in runners in scoring position. The Dodgers with runners in scoring position this year they're hitting 301, and we didn't even mention it just because it's so consistent. But top of the ninth inning, they got a much-needed insurance run after Ohtani got a one-out triple. Then 2 batters later, Freeman walked, and then Will Smith, 2-1 count. He singled to right to put the Dodgers up 5-2. And that's because Will Smith has been money with RISP this season. So this offense, they can carry you when the pitching is dealing with injury. So give that offense a lot of credit for scoring runs. And yesterday they didn't, and they punted the game, and it led to them using 8 pitchers today, which helped them take 2 out of 3. So their plan clearly works. This is proof of concept that it's better to wave the white flag if it allows you to have a full complement of arms for the next game. And then when the offense gets off to a good start, gives you a lead, or they tie it and then Teo hits a 3-run home run, you're at least still in a winnable position. They're going to throw out the high leverage guys. Nero says Ben C for the 5th starter. Hope he can build up some more. Carl, Manny made good use of his crying towel. I love that. Manny Mufrado. Did you guys, what was he saying to the umpire the other day when he was so upset? I was trying to read his lips. I think I heard him say, "Hey, you guys." Okay, guys, that was messed up. Shout out to Manny Machado giving Ben Casparius some love early, and he still owes the Dodgers his paycheck because they won a World Series before they did. Delirium 9, Ben Casparius will be our Game 2 starter of the postseason. Was now another super chat from Nico Suarez, $9.99. I appreciate that. Let's go. I'm going to use that for some tortas right after the game. I'm pretty starving. Let's go Dodgers. And by the way, Padres Stadium is Dodger Stadium South. Love you, Dodgers Nation. Love you, Nico. Appreciate that super chat. I'm going to give you a comment of the show for that one. Dodgers Showtime Slump Tani is the new nickname for Ohtani. Really? The dude that had a triple today? The dude who puts so much pressure on the pitcher that allows guys behind him to see good pitches. And yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Padres hung over from the parade last night. That's another. I'm gonna give that another one. I love it. All right, no super chat here from J.Y. Kim, $5. If Ben Casparius has always been a starter, might you know why the Dodgers organization made him a reliever? Lack of a spot in the rotation. Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. And look, when I spoke to Ben a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, do you want to be the high leverage reliever after Evan Phillips went down as far as right-handed pitchers go? He goes, yep, I do. I want that role. So he always wants the role, the biggest role that he can get, whether it's the best high-leverage reliever, whether it's being a starter. He is shooting for the stars, and the reason for that is exactly that, is they already had a rotation that had guys that they felt were better than him and that they were more invested in. Let's just call it what it is. So he can fill that role, though. And, hey, he's going to get opportunities because he can stay healthy, and the stuff plays. Four-seamer's really good. All of his secondaries, they're really good. He has all plus pitches as far as stuff plus goes. Paul Gutierrez, D-Mac is trying and close to coming back. Answer to that is no. Mario Landaverde, D-Mac, 1 to 10. Are we getting Walker Buehler? I would say a 1. I think they have a lot of faith in their starting rotation. But if they lose another guy and they want to get aggressive and then he's available, I wouldn't be surprised if they were going to trade for a starter and he was on the block and they needed one, that he would be a guy that they would gladly accept back if it came to that. A lot would have to go wrong, though. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, vote Pajes, Muncy, Ohtani, Smitty, Edmund for All-Stars. Okay. There you go, Ellis Shiva. She's trying to get all her players in the All-Star game. I got to respect that. Will Smith is the best catcher in MLB from Himmy Turner. I think Cal Riley would like to have a conversation, but Will Smith is certainly up there. Will Smith is MVP material. He's the only Dodger that's been consistent this season. I think Shohei's had some slumps, but he's been consistent. But I definitely agree with you, though. He's been consistent. They put him in a great spot to be consistent by kind of managing his workload, and it's been a great plan early on. Claudia, what's up? D-Mac, you guys what I mean? G-Mac went full sloth. Mr. Marty Mart wants me to give myself a bruh for my, hey, you guys. Bruh. All right, I'll give myself a bruh. I gotcha. I read Vesia's lips. He said, fun now, fun now. Give me my jumbo check. Yeah, 10 strikeouts. It was a Jumbo Yak day for the Dodgers. Certified Torta Pounder. D-Bag, D-Money. All right, guys. You know that I could talk Dodger baseball with you all day, every day. We'll do a couple more walk-off shots. I mainly just listen to the comments. What's up, Bilal K? How you doing, my man? All right, guys. So you got Giants, you got Dodgers. That's coming Friday. Should be exciting. I'll be at the Ravine, and we'll be back tomorrow for Dodgers Dugout Live. But thanks again, guys, as always. And if you haven't yet, definitely go to Max Muncy's. If there's any chance you go to Max Muncy's event tomorrow, there's gonna be a lot of players there. There's gonna be a lot live auction. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff there. So I definitely recommend that. I'll leave some info down below. And then also Factor. Have you guys gone to Factor yet? Have you guys joined the movement? Because Factor is definitely the place to go. And Dodgers summer is among us, and that means more sun, more trips to the ballpark, and more time to do all things that make summer so special. What's the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer? Spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-certified dietitian approves meals and ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. I wouldn't be able to host this show if I wasn't getting all my nutrients and meals in throughout the day. And Factor has me covered for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor Meals arrives fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. Whether I'm watching a Dodger game at home, breaking down film, or getting ready for a post-game show, I don't have to stress cooking any longer. I'm able to maintain a very healthy lifestyle since switching over to Factor for my meals, and you should too. Get started at factormeals.com/Dodgers50off and use code Dodgers50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Dodgers50off at factormeals.com/Dodgers50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Dodgers50off. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Corey says, does Factor have tortas? Hopefully they do. I love it. Blaucase says, I'm already full. I'm good. Fact tortas from Himmy Turner. You guys are the best, man. Always make me laugh. But see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy this series win. Remember, there will be no parade in San Diego tonight. And you can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button on your way out for your boys in blue. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.